I'm Kalila Ko, and welcome to our second TK1 Newscast, recorded here at the TK1 studios in downtown Taos. Every week we'll bring you updates and announcements from Taos High School and indeed from across our community. Our top story this week is, of course, spring break, and I hope you all had a restful break from Taos High. Some highlights of the week included trips abroad, skiing, and some students just taking a break from school. I joined a group of about 30 Taoseños who flew to Japan, and here's a short report on that. This is Kalila, and I'm in Kyoto right now. The city of Kyoto was very rainy on this day, and we had the opportunity to have a guided tour. We hiked up and we got to see the Golden Zen Pavilion. The streets were crowded but also very quiet, since it's considered rude to talk loudly in public in Japan. We walked through these pillars on our way to visit a shrine, and here we visited a beautiful temple. I'm Kalila.
And I'm Elsie.
And we are at the Meiji Shrine in Tokyo, Japan. We had traveled to Tokyo by bullet train, and the city of Tokyo was a lot more crowded than Kyoto, and everyone had really good street style. There were also a lot of street performers, such as singers and dancers. At night, we saw some really cool lights, and everyone in Japan overall was very polite. As you can see, these people are happily waving to us, so that was really nice. And that concludes the report on the travel club's trip to Japan. And in today's broadcast, we're putting a spotlight on the brand new offerings of Flex Fridays. What is Flex Friday and how does it work? For more, we turn to our correspondent, Monique Jordan.
Why, thank you, Kalila. For more information on Flex Fridays, I spoke to Taos High's Dean of Instruction, Emmy Martinez de Herrera. How is attendance monitored for Flex Fridays?
Well, attendance is monitored very similar to the way it is throughout the week. A student has in their Power School their attendance, and basically if they show up to Flex Friday, if they're supposed to be on campus, they are marked present or absent or tardy, right? In their sessions, and the teacher will take attendance during those sessions. When they're off campus, we have a team of staff members that calls to ensure that the student is where they're supposed to be. So everyone that is off campus is either confirmed through our dual credit program. If it's a job, they're getting calls to the workplace. If it is an internship, they're getting calls to the internship, the person that they have noted down and been approved to be able to do that placement with.
What's the ultimate goal with Flex Friday?
Well, I believe the ultimate goal with Flex Friday is to create this vision of opportunity and innovation for our students. There's so many things out there that we do not have direct contact and programs that we have direct contact with that can come into the school every single day while students are receiving their education. The focus remains on a student's academic education and, of course, attendance supporting that.
What does the future of Flex Fridays look like?
We're going to create sessions that are a little bit more cohesive, a little bit smaller for students to receive that support that they need academically. We are also going to be pushing in our EQ tutors and our AVID tutors into the classroom. So we are seeing that students really respond positively to peer tutoring, peer mentoring. We have a near peer grant that we're working with. So that's a high emphasis for quarter four. So quarter four is really exciting. We're about halfway through our Flex, rollout at Taos High School, and we're just hoping for really positive outcomes, student success, of course, community relationships, and of course, opportunity and innovation for our kids.
Thank you, Monique. Next up, we'll hear from our trusted correspondent, Luna Bonney, reporting on some Taos High policies. Welcome back, Luna.
Thank you, Kalila. Today I'd like to address two policies at Taos High that often confuse me and my fellow students. First, the automated weapons detector located at the front entrance of the school begs a few questions. How effective has it been in detecting weapons coming into the school? Have any been seized, or is this more about deterrence? Has it actually improved the security of our school?
Can you give me an example of what you're referring to?
I've noticed that when the weapon detector goes off, nothing really happens. People still go about their business and enter the school without their bags being checked. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not a security expert, but I'm curious to know. Next, I'd like to talk about the new policy of parents having to be physically present at the school to sign their kids out for things like doctor's appointments, feeling sick, and so on.
And why is this a problem?
This is a problem because it takes a lot of extra time out of everyone's day, and I'm not sure what the point is. I understand that some students may have abused the previous system to get out of class, but we do have parents or grandparents with the authority to excuse us. We have approved lists. So how about we just check those lists of approved phone numbers whenever someone calls to have a student excused? This would make so much more sense to me.
Thank you for your informative thoughts and concerns, Luna. Now we'll take a short break to get some weather updates. I now welcome our correspondent, Carlos Miller.
Thank you, Kalila. Well, climate change is throwing another curveball at us, and we're going right back into winter. On Monday, we're looking at 1 to 5 inches worth of snow, so it might be worthwhile going and getting your ski gear and heading up to the mountains. We're also looking at pretty low temperatures for the rest of the week, so it'll be worthwhile keeping your layers on. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll be looking at some more precipitation with 50% chance of snow or rain. This will be well needed for our dry mountains and wildfire risk. Speaking of wildfire risk, the National Interagency Fire Center has announced that the next 4 months will be normal wildfire risk. This could change with higher winds or other factors that will influence wildfires. And this weatherman is a little bit sad. The fruit trees are going to be frozen by this cold snap, and that will result in less buds and less fruit. But we can all live with a little bit less fruit. That's okay. Back to you, Kalila.
Thank you, Carlos. And now we turn to sports with Angie Burns-Diaz.
Thank you, Kalila. Here is this week's sports roundup. The Taos Ice Tigers hockey team just wrapped up a very successful season, playing teams that we've never played before. Boys basketball finished their season with an equal number of wins and losses and were selected for the state tournament. Both boys and girls freeride skiers competed in A Basin. Baseball and softball teams kicked off their seasons. And lastly, the boys and girls tennis team just returned from the first tournament of the season in Farmington.
Thank you so much, Angie. Now lastly, we turn to a produced segment on the Taos High Drama Club.
I'm Aileen Cardenas,
And I'm Kalila Coe.
and it's a sunny day at Taos High.
Today we are recording the sights and sounds of the Drama Club.
What makes drama different from other electives given at Taos High?
I think that drama is different than other electives because it gives students the freedom to be themselves. In electives, you kind of have to follow a structure. If you're in English, you gotta do all your work, and if you're in math, you gotta be good at math. But in drama, you can be whoever you want, and you get A's just because you're yourself and you have a personality. And I think that's what makes drama special.
There are electives where you get to move around and interact with stuff, but I feel there's just a different aspect of it. We were able to put on performances. You can create a piece of art and you'll have it forever. But with drama, it's more about the memory of it.
What's the most memorable experience you've had while in drama?
I would say that the most memorable experience that I've had would be my first play. It was a 10-minute act.
I think my most memorable moment would be, I think it was after Bye Bye Birdie. All three of us guys were forced out of the changing room into this little closet right behind the stage, and to pass the time, we just sang sea shanties.
How do you feel drama has improved you as a person?
I think it's definitely made me a little bit more social as a person. I used to be really antisocial, not liking to talk to anyone, but now a little bit more cool on it.
I pushed through the social anxiety of putting myself out in front of a bunch of people I've never seen before, and I had fun.
If you could play a character in any movie that you'd want to, who would it be?
Eliza in Hamilton. I'd want to do that because Hamilton was my first musical I discovered. So that was my drama, introducing. So I think that would be really spiritual to me.
The role of characters who just exist purely to be ominous and creepy, but are very important to the plot in some superstitious way.
I would really want to be Beetlejuice.
Last year, I already kind of had my favorite role, which was Steve, the great mage Steve.
And from what play was that?
That was from She Kills Monsters.
Maleficent, probably. I feel that would be fun.
Is there any specifics about it, or is it just a role you enjoy?
I like the horns and the wings.
I agree.
And that's all for today's news. Thank you for tuning in.